Hello and welcome to the Trent and Mersey Canal at Barlaston near Stoke-on-Trent. It's a bit of canal that I've come along several times on the boat, and every time I get to this point, I turn to the camera and say, I wish I could buy this house, because look, it's got a mooring in the garden. Well, now's my chance, because it's for sale. As it happens, I know the estate agent, so I sorted out a quick tour and I thought I'd bring the video camera so you can have a look too. It turns out the house and mooring date back to the early 1800s, only a few years after the canal was built, although the house has been extended recently.
In 300 yards, your destination will be on the left.
You approach along a narrow and rather bumpy road, and you go past these cottages, which are even older, and were built for workers at the boatyard which used to be here when the canal was built. At the end of the lane, two rather splendid wooden gates open inwards to welcome you. The owner told me how he came to buy it.
We found it when we were walking down the towpath 26 years ago and realised this beautiful little cottage there that needed doing up, and we inquired and we bought it. And all we bought originally was just the cottage. And because we would obviously downsize it, but we were going to have a narrowboat and have the boat outside, would have been perfection. But then when we bought it, we realised in the field next door was the old dry dock. And on the plans, it says it's a graving dock, which must have been down here when Brindley put the canal through in the late 1800s, 1700s, whenever it was. And we dug it out and we found the old dock and we resurrected and renovated it and restored it and did all that wonderful thing, and we think it's fantastic. So the old dock's there, which gives us a private mooring, that because it's offline, so we don't pay any mooring fees, so it's quite cost effective as well. So we're quite pleased. We've resurrected a bit of history and done the old blacksmith's cottage up, which is what this was, which we think it was, to quite a nice, comfortable home. So I'm quite privileged, to be honest, quite privileged to have been able to have done it.
And comfortable is something of an understatement for this rather lovely property. I'll start in the kitchen, which is a decent size and very, very warm, courtesy of the gas-fired range, which supplies hot water and heating for the house. Hot water also comes from these solar arrays on the roof. There's also a lovely dining nook, which overlooks the canal. And from another window, your view is of the dock. An utterly glorious sunroom is adjacent, giving you a wonderful view over the garden. And isn't this ceiling light just fantastic? The lounge is vast and welcoming, and also kept warm by this wood burner. A utility room provides space to wash clothes, boots, or maybe a dog. And I really, really would love to work in this study. Even the downstairs toilet is nautically themed, with the painted waves deliberately at neck level when you sit, so you won't drown as you do your business. Even the toilet brush gets a lighthouse as a holder. Upstairs, this wall marks the original back wall of the cottage, before Neil and his wife extended it. That now means plenty of space for bedrooms like this guest suite, with the master bedroom at the back having a great view over the ornamental water garden below.
We're having toasted cheese sandwiches anyway today, so have a plain one if you want one. So you can have a plain one.
I'll show you more of that and the rest of the gardens and the superb workshop later. But the star of the show is that historic dock, of course, the restoration of which was a labour of love.
It took us 3 years. We found a dip in the ground originally where it had obviously sunk when they'd filled it in. It had settled. And then when it's all very wet, there was this ditch of water. So we knew there was something there, which reminded me then to get the old plans out and found this old dock that was on the map. started to dig it out around the outside to find the shape of it, and found the old brickwork down at the bottom. And there was still 2 foot of brickwork in the bottom, where they must have taken all the other bricks off and used them and pinched them for something else over the years. But it was all there, the shape of it and everything, and a beautiful brick bottom in there that they used to must settle the boats on to repair them and build them and whatever. But of course, with them being wooden boats, they floated in 10 inches of water. So I could never get a steel boat in, so we had to dig it a bit deeper and then pile the outside of the dock to and then do it properly like British Waterways did, with big tie bars and anchor plates and all the things that you need to do with it. So I'd never done one before in my life. I hadn't got a clue. So it was a massive big learning curve.
Neil's boat, which is sadly not included in the sale, is a superb machine with a vintage engine at its heart. He's passionate about the canals.
I've always been interested in boating for a long, long time. I used to be in the Sea Scouts, and we've done sailing, canoeing and rowing and all sorts of things. And we've also had an awful lot of canal boat holidays with the family. And I find it, having been running a stressful business, going on the canal for a week, I can wind down instantly. And it is so relaxing and peaceful and tranquil. And it's been Helen and I's ambition and dream that when we come to retire, we'll have a narrowboat and go boating. And I've always wanted it outside my own house, if we could, which is ideal. So that's always been the dream. So that was one of the reasons why we bought the house, of course, because that was going to complete our mission in life.
Let's have a look around the grounds and the outbuildings now, because they're a bit special too. Here, for starters, is the ornamental garden just behind the sunroom, a mixture of plants, water features and statues. It would be an idyllic spot to sit and contemplate your good fortune on a summer's day. I rather liked how the stream runs through the patio slabs. And though I'm known for my hatred of wind chimes, this contraption is fascinating, and with no neighbours immediately to hand, is unlikely to be a bother either. Being a sci-fi nerd, I call this a stargate, but apparently it's a moongate. In the main garden, further tribute to the canal, with these lock gates embedded in the ground. Neil is clearly a fan of quirky sculpture. And what a fine place to enjoy a nice gin and tonic of an evening. Back at the mooring, this miniature guardhouse hides essential connections for the boats, electricity and water. But the pièce de résistance is surely the workshops at the back, solar powered of course. What a great place to build a camper van, for example. Neil has a winter's worth of logs for the fire in the donkey stalls at the end. But it gets better, with another workshop through a door where Neil is currently using his expertise in the printing trade to make a mural constructed from wooden printing blocks. It'll go in his new house. If you're a DIYer like I have become, prepare to drool, because the annex off the workshop is an Aladdin's cave of tools, hung and shelved in every possible square inch of space. The stuff I could make with a place like this.
Well, I've got loads of little letters there. Eventually, I'm saving those till the end. Right. So when I've got a whole...
It does all beg the question, why on earth are they selling?
It is the perfect house. We've been here 26 years now, but the time has come to move on. I've had an opportunity with my health that doesn't project the future particularly well. So we decided we're going to move to a bungalow. And we bought a little bungalow across the other side of the canal, basically for Helen, because I wasn't supposed to be here. So I'm on overtime now, as we say.
The estate agent marketing the property says money won't be the deciding factor when it comes to selling.
We're being select in the sense that the owners have told me that we are open to offers, and if the right person came along but couldn't reach near the asking price, but they were exactly the right person for this property to take it through to the next generation, then that would suit us all. We'd be delighted.
The person that buys the house has to be somebody that loves boating and loves the canals. There has to be an interest in it. I didn't realise how difficult it was going to be to try and find this sort of person. But we need somebody. I've been a custodian of this place for the last 26 years, and I need to find the next custodian who understands the canals and loves the history of it and the restoration of the dock and can benefit from everything that's been done and fully understands the working of the canals. When boats go past here on a Sunday afternoon, hire boats going at 16 mile an hour, I jump out and shout at them and say, slow down, because the canal's been here for 200 years and it's not a motorway. It needs to be respected. So I need somebody who's going to come and live here and respect what they've got. And it's got to be a canal boater.
I am not on commission to sell this place, more's the pity, but I genuinely love it and have been ferreting down the back of the sofa looking for any spare change. At offers around £1 million, this place is sadly a teensy bit outside my budget. However, it does occur to me that with over 200,000 subscribers, if everyone subscribed threw me £5, I could get this place and make it my Canal HQ. Right, I shall sit back and wait for the donations to roll in. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.